Edward and the Breakdown Train. As you guys just saw, that was an update. That was the update on Thomas' Interesting Adventures. It's getting a title card update. So enjoy. We have to do this for the future episodes also. One night, Edward was at a station at the top of a hill. Edward, Paxton, and Rosie were all at the top of the hill. Even the breakdown train was at the top of the hill. Then Edward went to sleep. Then when morning came, so the alarm came off. Thomas is off the line. Someone get the breakdown train. I'll do it, said Edward. Edward decided to get only one half of the breakdown train. Edward was coupled up to one half of the breakdown train, and then he set off. Edward... Thomas was near the tracks. Don't worry, Thomas. I'll help you out, said Edward. And then Edward arrived with the breakdown train. Then Edward wanted to stop to where the breakdown train could get to Thomas. So the breakdown train was coupled up to Thomas. Edward felt very pleased with himself when he arrived with the first half of the breakdown train. I wonder if there's any derails at the docks. Turns out there was. Duck was derailed at the docks. He was reversing too fast and came off the rails. I think this is going to be a little bit complicated, but I'll do it. Here's what I'll do. So I'll get one half of the breakdown train to the docks. And then maybe Paxton or Rosie will get the second half for me. Then Edward set off with the first half of the breakdown train. Edward was almost at the docks. Edward was almost at the shed where Duck was. At last, Edward approached the docks. So I don't want to go past the buffers. Edward stopped. Then other accidents had come. Edward didn't know where the buffers were. Edward didn't know where to stop. And then he crashed through the buffers with the breakdown train. Oh no! Edward tried to stop, but he couldn't. Edward just kept on going. And then Edward plunged into the sea. And then Edward plunged into the water. So the breakdown train was pulling Edward down, and then Edward was gone. Of course, Edward wasn't gone for long. And Edward was found and put back at the top of the hill. Don't worry, Edward. I'll pull the breakdown train for you. Okay. Thomas was coupled up to the breakdown train, and then he set off. Thomas was making pretty good progress so far. I don't think I'll crash with this breakdown train, he said. I'm doing this for Edward. I'm doing this for Edward. Thomas passed a snowy-themed Thomas that crashed in the buffers earlier. was trouble. So Thomas's brakes couldn't work. Thomas was on a runaway. Oh no! Oh no! My brakes can't work! Then Salty was up ahead. Thomas tried to stop, but he forgot his brakes wouldn't work. Then the points got switched at the last second. Right as Thomas was about to crash into Salty. So Thomas swerved by Salty. Then the coupling snapped between Thomas and the breakdown train. Then Thomas couldn't stop in time, and then he plunged into the sea. The breakdown train was stuck. When Thomas was craned out, and then he went back to the shed, and Thomas felt bad for Edward. And Edward felt bad for Thomas. Then Edward made a decision. So Edward's decision was for Thomas to pull the breakdown train, and Thomas only, as long as he doesn't derail. Thomas.